That's right. Welcome to the side of the ring because it's time for some ringside rumors. You're probably wondering to yourself, Ed, what the higgity heck, man? Where the heck have you been? I was in the hospital for stomach reasons, and I'm out now and I feel a lot better. So without further ado, we've got 3 top rumors. We're just gonna jump straight into it. Roman Reigns is expected to defend his undisputed WWE Universal title at both Money in the Bank and SummerSlam per Wrestling Observer newsletter. So, Jimmy turned on Roman this time instead of, well, Jay didn't do it, right? Because Jay still hasn't done it. Because they were talking about that on Wrestle Talk. They were like, Sammy turned on Roman, Jimmy turned on Roman, Jay's the only one who has not pulled the trigger yet on Roman. And also Solo. I'm going to put Solo in there too. Anyway, so Jimmy and Jay are now, like, I'm going to go ahead and just say they've been exiled, right, from the bloodline. And that storyline obviously is not going anywhere anytime soon. And this new development, Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, tells me that it tells me that these storylines, this storyline is going to be coinciding with coinciding with Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. And the big question is, like, how exactly are these two going to intertwine? You know what I mean? Because that was pretty much the question that I had with Night of Champions when they were like, oh, it's Solo and Roman Reigns. And I was like, can you imagine if they're not going to, obviously, but can you imagine if they did? Like, that'd be crazy if they actually were just like, actually, you know what? Screw it. You know, let's just do it. Why not? You know what I mean? They're not going to. But And that's why I was like, I'm not necessarily concerned about the match. It was the same reason why I wasn't concerned about Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. We knew who was going to win. I just wanted to see what was going to happen afterwards. I honestly have no idea who is going to challenge for the championships. I have no idea. Drew McIntyre is nowhere to be found. Sheamus is currently yelling at Austin Theory. Gunther, I mean, he's still got his IC title, right? I'm trying to think. LA Knight, it's a bit too soon. I mean, it'd be great and he'd be over and everybody would love it, but it's a bit too soon, you know. I'm sure the match and also the promos would be absolutely fantastic, but again, too soon. I can't really think of anybody else. So, I mean, that's what I'm like pretty much like sitting on right now is how is all of this going to develop, and how is all of it going to be wrapped up neatly and nicely, you know, in a nice little stupid little cardboard spaceship, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have to find out today, tonight, or on SmackDown, who knows. Our next top rumor, Austin Theory has a big story coming ahead, tweets BWE. The account formerly known as Boozer Wrestling says that story might start with, quote, a SummerSlam title loss before moving on from there. The triple threat match, actually, yeah, the triple threat match made me believe that there was a potential chance that he was going to lose the title. And I've been saying this for quite a while now, that if Austin Theory were to lose the title right now, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, because he has established his character in such a way that, like, he could continue on, you know, like he's like the Miz. Like, that's what I like about specific types of heels, where like a win is only just gonna boost them and a loss is not necessarily going to hinder them, because all they have to do is just go, oh, well, I lost because of this, or, oh, well, if I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, I like when heels can make lemons out of lemonade, and Austin Theory is definitely one of those types of heels where, you know, if he had a loss in the triple threat match, he could have just taken that and he could have ran with it, you know what I mean? But the fact that I love when heels win, especially when it's like shit-eating heels, you know, when they just keep racking up the wins, because it's just like, they don't even have to try with the promos, you know? They can just go out there and be like, okay, and I just won, so you know, like, anyway, he is more than likely going to be moving on to like a different title scene. He's more than likely going to be chasing the world title, so he's okay. The story might start with a SummerSlam title loss, so he's going to be carrying it for quite some time, which again doesn't surprise me. So, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see what exactly the moving on from there specifically means. But I mean, listen, all right, I only have good things to say about Austin Theory, so I assume that a world title storyline is somewhere in his future. So we're just gonna have to wait and see when that is. Our final top rumor, Mercedes Monet's original contract with New Japan expired on April 27th, at which point the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports she agreed to a longer-term deal. That offer and NJPW's creation of the Strong Women's title for her were a result of her, quote, strong drawing power, as evidenced by their sold-out San Jose show. So apparently they made the title specifically for her, and she would have won the title had she not gotten injured. I assume she got injured during the match because they had to call an audible. So this makes, man, Mercedes Monet has just, I mean, just, wow, okay, home run after home run ever since she went to NJPW. She's been getting the contract deals. Now she's got a longer term contract deal. You know, they have been absolutely over the moon with how she's been performing. You know, she's obviously an absolute, you know, fantastic draw, right, for them and for the pay-per-views and everything like that. She's putting on fantastic matches. My eyes have not been glued to her. They haven't been glued to her, but I've been keeping an eye on some of the matches that she's been in, and, you know, I was surprised that she lost the title. I saw the highlights with her with Willow Nightingale. And shouts out to Willow Nightingale, by the way. She's a new strong champion, if I remember. So she's obviously been doing a lot. They obviously have a lot of faith in her, you know. If you're Monet, right, you're sitting pretty, right, you're whistling Dixie, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you couldn't be happier, you know, you couldn't be more, like, confident, right, in your ability and you know, your, like, stock as a wrestler and a performer and an entertainer, you know what I mean? Like, you already know just right off the bat that if anybody wants to, like, sign you or you know, ask you to perform, you know, they're not just gonna, like, lowball you or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, Monet has come such a long way, you know, from being, like, shafted by WWE and now to being, like, one of the hottest talents in Japan right now, you know what I mean? To the point where, like, if she were to show up at Forbidden Door, like, she alone could probably sell out that entire pay-per-view just off of her name alone, you know what I mean? So I'm very curious to see her future just in general, man, in general. Like, I would love to see where she is going to be, who her character is going to be, the championships that she's going to hold, and God, my hand scared me, sorry. And the storylines that she's going to be involved in, and, you know, the crossovers that she is going to be a part of in the next, like, 5-10 years, you know what I mean? Like, Mercedes Monet, I mean, if she isn't already, you know, she is definitely going to be a legend, right, in the wrestling landscape. And if not a legend, fine. If I'm being a little bit, you know, too, you know, if I'm going a little bit too far with that, right, then she's definitely going to be a very, like, prominent, you know, figure in the wrestling landscape. So I mean, I couldn't be happier for her, and man, I cannot wait to see what more she gets into. Moving over to our minor rumors, our first minor rumor: WWE sources expect Liv Morgan will be out of action until at least the end of the summer, according to Fightful Select. Do you guys remember when it was Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah? Does anybody remember that? Was Aaliyah the one who threw up in the ring, by the way? Was that Aaliyah? I think it was. I'm sorry to bring that up, Aaliyah. I'm sorry. But that was crazy. And now that you've, like, set the precedent where, like, you could, like, wobble around too much in the ring and, like, make yourself throw up, now I look at that. I look out for that for, like, so, not every wrestler, but, like, I'll, like, you know, I'll have, like, a third eye open. But that's just me, you know. Anyway, hopefully Liv does not go through the same process that Aaliyah went through, where she's going to be fine and they're just not going to pair her back up with Raquel again. You know what I mean? That's my biggest worry, is that that's it, you know, for Liv. I don't want Liv to just, you know, just fade off into the background, you know. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Liv makes a speedy recovery and we see her back in the ring sooner rather than later. Our next minor rumor: WRKD Wrestling claims WWE's current plans call for Damian Priest to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. That Twitter account mentions that creative thinking of Priest as a potential main eventer after his backlash feud with Bad Bunny, which lines up with past rumors from other sources. I don't know if I've been saying this on camera, but I've definitely been saying it to my brother, and I've definitely been thinking about it a lot. I mean, again, it's the same thing with, like, Austin. You look at, like, like LA Knight, Austin Theory, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, right? I almost LA Knight again. You know, you look at these guys and you think to yourself, bro, without a doubt in my mind, right? These guys are the future. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are going to be with WWE and they're going to be, like, future world you know, Intercontinental United States women, you know what I mean? Like, they are the future, you know? And it doesn't surprise me at all, especially after the Bad Bunny match, that WWE is looking at Damian Priest and they're like, wow, you know, you are somebody special, you know? Punishment Martinez, you know, I should be punishing myself, right, for not realizing, you know, that we had lightning in a bottle. If you see them in the ring and you hear them on the mic, you can just tell, you know, and even if you can't tell right away, it'll slowly dawn on you that these guys are here to stay, and these guys like know what they're doing, you know, and they know what they're talking about and stuff, you know. So it doesn't surprise me that that's how that is how they feel about Damian Priest at the end of the day. Our final minor rumor, per PW Insider, Kofi Kingston was at Night of Champions, but he's not ready to return from injury just yet. That's why Xavier Woods has kind of been rolling around, you know, smacking up Gunther and getting into fights with LA Knight and stuff like that, you know. So not really much to say. He's been out for quite a while. Same thing with Big E. I hope to see him back, you know. Will we ever get a New Day reunion? Potentially, but it probably won't be in a wrestling ring. And if it is, it probably won't be in like a match or anything, but that's okay. I mean, at this point, I've kind of just accepted it. It's not really that big of a deal, you know. It's just how it goes. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't really do anything about it. Would I love to see them back in a ring together? Absolutely. But at this point in time, it just doesn't look like it's written in the stars. That's perfectly okay. At the end of the day, folks, what do we always say? We hope that we hope that Kofi Kingston makes a speedy recovery and he's back sooner rather than later. What do we talk about? Roman is defending his championship at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. So that tells you that we are going to be seeing and hearing developments of the Usos and the Bloodline storyline. On top of that, we are also going to be getting someone challenging for the title at each pay-per-view. Now, whether that is like hey, I just lost at this pay-per-view, but I won't lose at the next one, or well, you just lost this pay-per-view, get out of here, and now we put a new guy in. Only time will tell. It's really hard to tell at this point, especially since Money in the Bank isn't even around the corner just yet. Liv's out of action. I'm worried that she's just going to get like slid to the side and Shotzi is going to be Raquel's new, you know, action figure to play with. I don't want that to be the case. I don't want it to happen to Aaliyah. Where did Aaliyah go? You know what I mean? So hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't necessarily know though. Austin Theory has a big story coming ahead. It'll start with a SummerSlam title loss before moving on. That doesn't really surprise me. Again, the fact that Austin Theory is going to be losing the title and then they're going to be expanding upon that, right, is just a testament to Austin Theory and his character and the way that he's been portraying himself ever since he won the championship, right? It's just, you know, it doesn't really surprise me that they have such confidence in the guy. I mean, have you seen him? You know, WWE's current plans call for Damian Priest to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. The creative thinking of Priest as a potential main eventer, again, doesn't surprise me. Kofi Kingston was at Night of Champions, but he's not ready to return. Hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. And Mercedes Monet's original contract expired on the 27th of April. She agreed to a longer-term deal. That offer and NJPW's creation of the title were a result of her strong drawing power, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, again, ever since she showed up to NJPW, you know, I mean, not even ever since she showed up in Japan as a whole, she has just, you know, shown everybody like, hey, it's kind of a stupid move, you know, to try and like shortchange me in WWE and then just assume that I'd be perfectly okay with that. Also, that I would just not go on to just be an absolute trendsetter. You know what I mean? So, again, I don't know, man. Like, I keep saying the same exact thing over and over again, but it doesn't. Have you seen Sasha Banks? Have you seen her? Have you seen Punishment Martinez? Have you seen Eli Drake? You know, like, these guys haven't just, like, popped up out of nowhere. You know, these guys have established themselves in other areas. And they're now in WWE, and now everybody is not, well, not everyone, I shouldn't say that, not everyone. The casual fans are just now realizing, hey, this guy's pretty good. All the hardcore fans are like, duh, you know? So, that's all I have to say about that. You know, it's like, yeah, it's about time you figured it out. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. As always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.